Hey, what's up, everybody? Robdo here, and I'm going to do some post commentary on this video from earlier today in my Yamato. It's a really boring start. I ended up getting 145,000 damage in the last 9 minutes of the game because I couldn't hit shit for some reason. It was my first game of the day, and I must have been shaking off the dust or something. I don't know. But yeah, I made up for the missed shots in the end. Um, so in the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about the Yamato and Montana. So let's start with damage. The Yamato generally has more damage per shell in terms of if you were to hit a citadel or just get a good pen hit in general. And also has better penetration um, because of the larger rounds and all that. The Montana, since it has the extra triple turret on the back, it has potential for better alpha damage, but has lower penetration and damage per shell. I think personally that the extra turret that the Montana has kind of really tempts Montana captains to really use it, which then makes them show their broadside. Because to get that, all four turrets engaged, you really have to be very flat to your enemies. So when I go up against a Montana, I kind of wait for them to do that and take advantage of it. If I'm facing cruisers, I often broadside against them since they really can't citadel me, since the Yamato has pretty good armor. So I can utilize my three turrets, but I'll angle pretty far off when I'm facing any other battleships, to avoid any mess ups and to be able to get as much damage on the target as possible. So next, we'll talk about AA. To me, and I feel to a lot of people who play higher tiers especially, AA really doesn't matter that much, simply because, if you have extremely good AA rating, but you're by yourself, and a carrier decides to single you out, you're probably gonna die anyways. It's more of when, and you're really not gonna be able to prevent it. It might take 2 or 3 runs, but you're gonna die in the long run. So to me, it really doesn't matter that much, and I don't think it's a deciding factor that really makes the ship or breaks them. I mean, if you're in a high-tier game with carriers, organizing a formation near you should be pretty much just natural anyways. So individual AA rating doesn't really make that much of a difference, especially when you have multiple tier 9 or 10 cruisers or battleships or whatever near you. Your grouped AA will shred them to pieces anyways. If 1 or 2 gets through, it's not going to be that much of a damaging effect where you won't be able to just repair through it and be fine. That being said, you definitely should not venture out by yourself, especially in a battleship with a high tier cruiser, carrier, because you're gonna get absolutely wrecked. And I've done that a few times in my Yamato, especially when I first got her. I would just kind of go out on my own, and I would just get wrecked by carriers that just drop all torps into my side. And the turning radius of Yamato is pretty tight. However, the rudder shift, as you can see right here, is it's quite slow, and it just kind of slowly turns. Which, if you know, it's also a massive ship, so it's really hard to dodge torps and everything like that. So next, we'll talk a little bit about armor and the healing function. So Yamato used to have an ungodly heal. It was awesome. It was between like 20 or 25%, something like that. But it's like they changed it now, so it's the same as every other battleship. But yeah, it was insane. I remember one game before they changed it. I had about 15,000 health left, and so I started to flee and just went back. Some of my teammates picked up the enemies that were shooting at me, so I could get away and not get focused. And I healed back up to, I think it was between 75 and 80,000 health from 15, which is unreal, because I mean, you can imagine, for them, they turn away and they come back and see me again after I left, and now I'm healed up to damn near full health. So yeah, it was a little bit, I would have said it's OP. I mean, that was ridiculous. And that was only 2 heals. Obviously I used the flag that gave me the boost. But then, I mean, that was even higher at that point. So yeah, so they're pretty equal now, in terms of their heals. And I'm sure you've heard about the Yamato and its armor, and it's thick as hell, but it can still be penetrated relatively easily at close ranges, especially underneath the front 2 turrets. The armor belt just stops right before it covers basically where all the ammo is kept underneath the turrets. So if you're in a battle and you come across the Yamato, point your bow right at it and just start whipping rounds at the frickin' right in that area. You'll do pretty good. So you're gonna see me fuck up a Montana here pretty quick. It's gonna be pretty awesome. I was pretty happy with it, but he made a mistake, and he turned to the right, which exposed his belly to me, and that was a huge mistake, because the Yamato has a really big bubble on the side that drops pretty low. However, the Montana's bubble kind of stops. So when it turns and it lifts up that side, it exposes basically the underbelly. So if the rounds penetrate there, they're going to go into the bottom of the ship and just mess up everything down there. Which is exactly what I did pretty quick here. That pretty much one-shotted him from where he was at with his health. So, I mean, I would say overall, obviously, they're both really good ships. They are tier 10. I haven't played the Montana very much, so I'm not too familiar with it. However, I feel that Montana is more efficient at laying fire down on cruisers because of the extra turret, meaning it has more alpha damage, and it can have more chance of getting citadels on lighter armor targets, since the penetration is still good enough to penetrate any cruiser, just not necessarily the Yamato's armor. The Yamato specializes in long-range fire against other battleships, for sure. Its plunging fire is pretty crazy. It can do a ton of damage when you get those nice plunging shots right on the decks of ships. But I mean, as you saw here, I'm doing pretty close quarters battle stuff, and I'm doing fairly well. So it really just depends on your play style and your skill in general. Because I mean, if you're good, you can really do good in any specialty. Long range, close range, doesn't matter. Um, so now I'm finally getting into the action. I've got 1 kill, 2 citadels on that Kutuzov, and that Yamato. I turned back because I wanted that Yamato to come out so I could just blow his brains out with firing into that weak spot. But he ended up getting killed by the gearing, I believe, which was actually good because I asked the gearing to torp him just to make sure, because I got kind of worried for a second that he was gonna come around and I would get trapped in there. So that worked out good. That was some good teamwork there. So now I saw that Montana and I really want him. I don't know what that bullshit was right there. If you guys saw that, one of the rounds literally went straight through the back of the ship, but somehow I didn't get any hits. I don't know. I think that, pretty sure it happened earlier too. I don't know. I'm not sure why it does that. But whatever. Now for the juicy part. Now I really wanted to kill this Montana, and especially look at his health, over 100,000. Pretty crazy. And I mean, I only have 22 left, and I'm gonna use this heal here pretty quick. But so I utilize my advantage of armor, where I'm gonna turn at him now, and only utilize my front 2 turrets, and that way also if he were to fire at me, his chances of doing even decent damage to me are very slim because I'm only showing my front. If he hits me anywhere on the sides, it's gonna bounce. If he hits me on the deck, it's most likely gonna bounce. And I should be pretty good here. So now he's gonna see me, so he's gonna whip it right. And that was a really big mistake. Perfect grouping right here, and you're gonna see it's gonna just pierce right through that little belly. 4 citadels, devastating strike. That bumped me up to 91,000 damage, and made me pretty happy, especially for my first kill, or my first game of the day to get that. That was pretty awesome. So now he's gonna start complaining. This is another thing I want to talk about. He's gonna start complaining. He said such BS. So if you do something wrong, how can you say it's bullshit if you flaunted your citadel to me and I killed you? I'm not sure. And then one of my teammates said it's the Montana. And you know, I know that there's a lot of stereotype and everything that the Montana's terrible against the Yamato, whatever. I don't really think that's true. I mean, I feel skill is obviously more involved in any battle. It doesn't matter what tier you are, what ship you're in. It really doesn't matter at all. And to say that the Yamato is better after simply that one battle, where he pretty much just offered for me to kill him. Yeah, I don't know. It's all, and then another thing, it's all RNG. No, I don't think so. I mean, I saw that he was turning right there. I knew that his underbelly was going to be exposed, and I took the shot. And I don't think that's RNGesus that I aimed in the right spot. If it was all RNGesus, then there would be no skill or accuracy or any of that stuff in the game. So yeah, I feel pretty strongly about that. I always preach that tier has really nothing to do with your skill. So alright, so now I'm just trying to clean up these guys. Now this is just an easy kill. I just saw him and I didn't really see anyone shooting at him, so I just took it. But not really gonna count that one that much. So now we're just cleaning up. We got a bunch of cruisers left and a destroyer. so we're pretty much good. I've been eyeballing that Mogami for a while, since right when I got over there, but he's been kind of camping behind that island for a good amount of time. And I am just about, I think I'm going to notice that he's moving pretty quick here and attempt to engage him, but I did see that there's a Zao right behind me. And I really was hoping that he would pop out, keep going straight so I could get a good shot on him. But he was smart and kind of cut back a little bit. And to be honest, in this moment, since I was so into it and I was just trying to get as many kills as I possibly could or whatever, I really didn't even notice the time. So I'm just having fun. And this Mogami, once again, I don't understand why would you sail completely broadside against a freaking Yamato, let alone a battleship in general. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I mean, hey, I'm not gonna complain. They're just giving those kills away. So now I'm gonna try to go after this Zao. I still didn't really notice the time. Honestly, I don't even think I noticed until it started clicking down where I could hear it, and then I kind of I was pissed because after I fired this burst or this salvo, I didn't have enough time for it to load, and I was barely had enough time. I was about, what, 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind. And so really, right now when it got to 10, pretty much I'm going to just click on them, see if my secondaries can do anything. And that's pretty much it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this ultimate Yamato ponage. I'm going to be pushing out some more videos soon, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. We'll see ya.